Welcome to our channel. If this gripping tale of forgotten promises and shocking revelations moves you, please hit the like button and share your thoughts in the comments. A stranded millionaire's broken car leads to an encounter with a skilled black mechanic wearing a ring that unravels a decades-old mystery. Their chance meeting exposes a web of lies, corporate fraud, and a stolen family legacy. This story of truth and reunion proves that even the smallest connections can topple empires built on deceit. On a scorching afternoon in rural Georgia, James Harper, 47, a titan of industry, slams his fist against the wheel of his stalled Bentley. Smoke pours from the engine. In 17 minutes, he's due to pitch a game-changing deal to top investors at Harper Enterprises. Sweat soaks his $3,000 suit as he pops the hood, steam forcing him back. "Damn it," he mutters, loosening his tie. A man who commands boardrooms is clueless about engines. The irony stings. A rattling pickup pulls up. Sarah Mitchell, 35, steps out, her grease-stained jeans and plaid shirt a stark contrast to James's polished look. Her dark skin gleams under the sun, curls tied in a practical bun. "Need help?" she asks, striding over with confidence. "I've got a critical meeting in 15 minutes, James snaps. "My assistant called for help, but there's no signal out here." Unfazed by his status or mood, Sarah leans over the engine. "Cooling system's shot," she diagnoses. "I can patch it to get you to town. Won't last long, but it'll buy you hours." James eyes her skeptically. "You sure?" "I'm a mechanic," she replies dryly. "Got a shop 10 miles up." Without waiting, she grabs tools from her truck, her movements precise. "5 more minutes, you'd have fried the engine," she says, tweaking something James can't identify. "These models are powerful but fragile, like some people." The jab lands, but James is too stressed to care. "How's someone in a place like this? No luxury cars?" he asks, catching his bias too late. "In a backwater town," she finishes, glancing over. "I read, I learn, I care about my work. Excellence isn't just for big cities, Mr. Harper." He's stunned she knows his name. "Your face is in every business section," she says, shutting the hood. "You're good to go." "I owe you," James says, pulling cash from his wallet. As she takes it, he spots a silver ring with a small sapphire on her finger, delicate, familiar. Time freezes. A memory flashes. A girl with big eyes, a promise under an oak tree, the last gift from his mother before she died. Where'd you get that ring?" he asks, voice shaky. Sarah instinctively clenches her fist. "My mother's," she says, eyes wary. "Why?" She couldn't know that 20 years ago, a boy, now the man before her, slid that ring onto her finger, vowing to return. A boy who broke that vow and found her again by fate. If this story of lost promises and reunions touches you, subscribe to see how a simple ring sparks a revolution in two strangers' lives bound by destiny. Sarah, sensing James's fixation, pockets the cash and heads to her truck. "If it breaks down, my shop's 10 miles up. First turn past Dawsonville's sign," she says. James hesitates, torn between his meeting and this unsettling discovery. "That ring," he starts, but her engine roars. "Your investors are waiting, Mr. Harper," she cuts in coldly. As his Bentley speeds off, Sarah sits still. "He didn't recognize me," she murmurs, thumbing the ring, a habit of 20 years. "He just didn't see me." At Dawson Auto, Sarah attacks a dismantled engine, frustration in every move. "You'll break that carburetor," warns her uncle, Samuel, 62, gray at the temples, the only one who knows her full story. "He showed up," she says. "James Harper, the boy who promised to return." Samuel freezes. "The man who forgot," Sarah corrects, wiping her hands. "He saw the ring, but not the girl who kept it for 2 decades. That night, Sarah opens a wooden box under her bed filled with clippings charting James's rise, innovations, charity, his engagement to Claire Montgomery, a fashion heiress. "He won't even remember the ring tomorrow," she whispers. She's wrong. Next morning, a plain sedan pulls up to her shop. James steps out, no suit, trying to blend in. "We're open," Sarah says, keeping distance. "Actually, I'm returning this," he says, holding a carved wooden bird brooch. Sarah's world stops. Her first carving, a farewell gift to James. "Open Heart's home, Dawsonville," he says softly. "You were the girl who taught me to whittle when the other kids mocked me." "You promised to come back," Sarah says, words slipping out. "I tried," James replies, a shadow crossing his face. "My father had other plans." Samuel emerges, eyeing James with distrust. "So the prince returns," he says. 20 years late. James meets his gaze. "I know I've earned your skepticism, but I'm here to explain." Sarah speaks. "Samuel took me in after the home, taught me everything, gave me a home when no one else would." "I failed you," James admits. "Why now?" Sarah challenges. James exhales. "In 3 weeks, I'll announce my engagement to a woman I don't love, become president of a company I secretly despise, and fully become the man my father wanted. Then I saw your ring, and something shifted." His phone buzzes. "Claire, 6th call." "She's persistent," Sarah says bitterly. "My jailer," James mutters, silencing it. "Our marriage is a corporate merger dressed as romance." "What do you want from me?" Sarah asks, arms crossed. "Absolution for abandoning me." "Answers," he says, "and a chance to fix my biggest mistake." James doesn't mention the investigation he started last night, digging into Sarah Mitchell's past at the home, the missing records tied to her family's estate. Sarah doesn't reveal the folder hidden in her shop, yellowed papers with Harper Enterprises logo, signed by James's father, detailing the fraudulent seizure of her family's land, now the site of Harper's new corporate complex. Their fates are tied by more than childhood memories, a conspiracy that crushed a family to build an empire. 3 days later, James cancels meetings, diving into old files. Something's off about his father's story of the land now housing Harper's complex. In the family mansion, he searches his father's study, finding a locked folder labeled Dawson Project. Using a copied key, he opens it. His blood runs cold. Contracts, lawsuits, a forged death certificate for Sarah's mother. "He faked her death," James whispers, "to steal the land." Meanwhile, at the shop, Sarah decides. "I'm fighting back," she tells Samuel, showing him the hidden file. "These documents are real, signed by his father." "It's dangerous," Samuel warns. "The Harpers ruined your family once. They could do worse." Sarah touches her ring. "I've got nothing left to lose." That night, James drives to the shop when Sarah texts, "Town Square, 20 minutes. Come alone." In Dawsonville's empty square, Sarah waits on a bench under an oak, eerily like the one from their childhood. For 20 years, I wondered why my mother abandoned me, she begins. I lost same everything. Sarah, I found something horrific, James interrupts, eyes wide. Your father faked my mother's death, Sarah finishes, handing him papers, then threatened her life if she tried to reclaim me, all to steal our land, the region's largest freshwater reserve. James studies the documents. The signature matches his findings. How'd you get this? He asks, voice trembling. My mother left them with Samuel before vanishing. He waited till I was old enough. Sarah pulls a photo. Her mother, Emily Mitchell, wearing the sapphire ring, a green valley, now Harper's complex, in the background. Tomorrow I go public, Sarah declares, at the complex groundbreaking ceremony. James stares, stunned. Hundreds of reporters, investors, politicians. Perfect moment, Sarah says, to show Harper's empire was built on fraud, extortion, and ruined lives. James's phone buzzes, his father, fifth call. He ignores it. There's more, Sarah adds. I believe my mother's alive. James reels. How? Where? 8 years ago. An anonymous letter in her handwriting. She's in a psychiatric clinic in New Hope. James decides. Don't wait for tomorrow. The groundbreaking's tonight. My father moved it, fearing leaks. Only a tight circle knows. In a limo to the complex, James outlines his plan. I've got full access to security and the stage. I can position you to confront him publicly. He doesn't mention finding Emily Mitchell's true location, not a clinic, but a private Harper estate, leverage for her silence. The event dazzles. Elite guests admire the complex, built on Sarah's family land. William Harper, 70, impeccable in his suit, beams for cameras. Thomas, he exclaims, spotting his son, then hardens seeing Sarah. What's she doing here? Special guest, Father, James says coldly. Someone with a story about this land's origins. William pales. My office, now. In his lavish office overlooking the valley, William sneers at Sarah. How much to disappear like your mother should have. My mother, Sarah says, voice steady despite rage. Where is she? William laughs. After all these years, she probably doesn't remember you. So she's alive, James says, secretly recording. You've held her captive for 20 years. Captive? William scoffs. I gave her luxury for a worthless plot, a deal. A deal under threat isn't a deal, a new voice says. Samuel stands at the door with an older woman, eyes like Sarah's, brimming with pain. Mama, Sarah whispers, voice breaking. Emily Mitchell steps forward, locking eyes with her daughter. Sarah, she says, voice thick. Outside, Claire, watching clinically, records every word. The reunion exposes not just the fraud behind Harper's empire, but how ambition tore families apart. As William watches his lies crumble, a deeper truth looms. James isn't his biological son, but an orphan adopted to replace a lost child. The tension peaks in William's office. This is impossible, he mutters, stepping back. You were under constant surveillance. Your money buys silence, William, Emily says, voice fueled by years of pain, not loyalty. Some guards have hearts. Sarah, trembling, nears her mother. 20 years of loss melt in their embrace. Tears louder than words. James watches, emotions swirling. "Why, father?" he asks. "Why destroy a family for land?" "It was never just land," William says, regaining composure. "It's the region's largest freshwater reserve, worth billions, this company's future." "And that justifies ruining lives?" James asks, contempt rising. A glint flashes in William's eyes. "The same way I justified adopting an orphan to replace a lost son." Silence hits like a bomb. James staggers. "What?" he whispers, face draining. "You think it's chance you spent 6 months in that home?" William laughs bitterly. "Your mother died in childbirth with our real son. You were a convenient substitute, no messy history, no family to interfere." The revelation shatters James, his identity, his life, a lie. "He's lying," Claire says, entering with an old dossier. "This is why our merger felt wrong." "What have you done?" William demands, paling at the dossier. "Due diligence," Claire says coldly, revealing his fraudulent adoptions. "You didn't just adopt James. There were others." Samuel rests a hand on James's shoulder. "This means you and Sarah aren't just childhood friends," Claire finishes. "Your half-siblings, same mother, records forged to hide it." Sarah and James lock eyes, truth dawning in their matching gazes. "That's why the ring mattered to both of you," Emily murmurs. "Our family heirloom. I gave it to James before William took him, making him think it was from a mother he never knew." Police sirens wail, closing in. "This ends now," James declares, resolute. The next week, headlines erupt. William Harper, Titan, arrested for fraud, kidnapping, document forgery. Harper Enterprises, built on crime, collapses as probes uncover decades of corruption. James, learning he's Emily Mitchell's son, drops the Harper name for Mitchell. The land is restored to the Mitchell family, the complex transformed into an eco-reserve and community center, aiding local families. 6 months later, at the expanded Dawson Auto, Sarah fixes an engine while James reviews papers for the Mitchell Foundation, aiding abandoned kids. "Still weird?" she asks, wiping grease. "Learning your life was a lie?" James smiles, touching the bird brooch he wears as a pendant. "Weird, but freeing. We lost 20 years, but reclaimed our truth, our family." Emily enters with lemonade, her eyes now holding peace. "The ring," she says, seeing Sarah wear it, "it kept us linked, even when we didn't know." Sometimes the craftiest lies unravel through simple bonds. A ring passed from mother to son, then to a sister unaware of him. Empires built on injustice don't fall from guilt, but from truth's relentless rise. If this story of buried family ties touches you, subscribe for more tales of how truth, however painful, heals wounds thought permanent and reunites lives torn by greed and power.